Good morning. How you doing? Well, it's about almost 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday, January 19th. It is very cold outside. Now, as you may know, I drive a van for a local school district from western Iowa into Omaha, and then I pick the kids up in the afternoon, driving back to western Iowa. Well, this morning we have a 2 hour delay. Temperature outside right now, -6. Wind chill values below -20. And with a little bit of wind and that 4 inches of snow we got last night, maybe some drifting of snow over the roads. I'm hoping the crews did a good job to clear them. We'll certainly find out soon, but that's why I'm recording very early so I can get this forecast out to you, because I'm not going to be home until later in the afternoon, which would still work. But, I put it all together. I might as well present it to you now. So here's what's going on around the country right now. And yeah, it's cold and it's snowy. Now, a lot of these warnings, you look at the winter storm warnings and the winter weather advisories from Iowa into Illinois and southern Wisconsin, the snow's pretty much cleared those areas, although still some blowing and drifting possible there. The snow's now moved into Indiana, as we'll show you, and into Kentucky, moving into Ohio and Tennessee and West Virginia is going to get a lot of snow here. Pennsylvania into the East Coast over time today. Meanwhile, back in the Pacific Northwest, looking at Facebook this morning, some of my friends in Portland, Oregon, still dealing with some ice this morning. And so we have winter storm warnings and winter storm watches up for the Pacific Northwest for freezing rain and snow. Sierra Nevada, the mountains in California have a winter storm watch. There's dense fog advisory for the Central Valleys. Meanwhile, Oklahoma and parts of Texas with a wind advisory. So be advised, it's going to be windy. Very cold in the south. Southern Louisiana, freeze warnings. Southern Texas, freeze warnings and a freeze watch. And for Jacksonville, Florida, and into maybe Savannah, Georgia, freeze warnings and a freeze watch further south from that. So the cold air is invading once again behind this little system that's moving across the Ohio Valley. So let's take a look at the surface map for today. You see that cold front all the way through Texas today. The snow in Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, heavy snow. Parts of the mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina as well. Heavy snow off the Great Lakes. And some of them at least, in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Connecticut, Massachusetts, all expecting snow today. Pacific Northwest, still a mess, freezing rain possible in some areas, mixed precipitation otherwise. That changes the snow for Spokane, the panhandle of Idaho, into northwest Montana. There's your rain for California, turning into mixed precipitation in the higher elevations. So that's what's going on today. Tomorrow, some lingering snows off the Great Lakes and some of the Appalachians, West Virginia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. And then we see more rain and mixed precipitation for the west. And by Sunday, snow ends in the east. And we're looking for more activity here. Freezing rain possible. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri. With some regular rain for Texas and Louisiana, although some of that freezing rain right along the Red River getting into North Texas. When you look to the west, we see, depending on elevation mostly, we see a lot of rain, and then we see mixed precipitation, still some freezing rain in the Columbia River Gorge, and heavy rain, flash flooding possible for Northern California. That goes all the way down into the San Francisco area, so the Bay Area. Could see some heavy rain. Now, how much snow are we expecting this weekend? This is the 48-hour snow accumulation ending midnight Saturday. And you see the bulk of it, Ohio Valley, off of the Great Lakes, some very heavy snow, well over a foot to 16 inches. And then West Virginia, too, into Pennsylvania. The mountainous areas there, well, West Virginia is the mountain state, so there you go. And that snow extends all the way to the East Coast, including the city of New York. So let's get to the GFS model, and we'll run through this for you. This is midnight last night, so a few hours ago. And as we go through time, Oh, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't. That was when the model was initiated, was midnight last night. This is 6 a.m. Central Time, so just an hour ago, and you see the snow coming down in the Ohio Valley. I've noticed I've been moving this around too fast, so I'm going to try and quit spazzing out with that. Anyway, some snow coming down Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and further east with this low that is now off the coast. And then our next storm approaching the Pacific Northwest. Freezing rain up here. Looks like maybe Seattle area, certainly east of that. So we'll keep an eye on this as the rain moves into the Pacific Northwest. And probably some ice with that. We see later on today the snow pretty much ending in the east, but we do see a little bit of snow coming off of the lakes still. We see that heavy rain in Northern California now. This is Saturday afternoon, so tomorrow afternoon, and a little bit of light snow. And our cold air is centered over Iowa. Of course it is. We have a very cold morning in store tomorrow morning, which is right here. This is midnight tonight, or midnight tomorrow night, and into Sunday. And that cold air locked in on the east, and our scattered rain and snow for much of the west. Things, a little quieter on this map, but it's not going to stay that way. As we get further into Sunday, we see in Arizona, the Grand Canyon state, the Grand Canyon probably getting some snow. Also the Mogollon Rim up Flagstaff, Payson probably getting snow from this. And then it's rain in the lower elevations from Tucson up to Phoenix over to Yuma, maybe even a little bit of rain. Yuma doesn't get a lot of rain, so they'll take it. Rain also in Texas, so we'll keep an eye on this too. Rain moving into the Pacific Northwest. That cold high centered over the east now. And as we go through time, you see storms busting out in Texas. So this would be Sunday midnight with some freezing rain here in Oklahoma and along the Red River. And let's see what that develops into. More freezing rain, more showers and thunderstorms and heavy rain. Freezing rain now pretty heavy in Arkansas and a little bit of Oklahoma. And then we see the heavy rains again for Northern California. That's why we're looking for some flash flooding concerns here. It's regular rain for Western Oregon, Western Washington. So your ice finally out of here. As we get into Monday of next week, this is noon Central Time. A little bit of freezing rain hanging in there. Missouri, Arkansas. Heavy rain moving into East Texas. Rain along the West Coast. And a little bit of snow up here in Michigan. The freezing rain continues northward now into Illinois and Indiana as we get not quite Tuesday. This is late Monday night. And we've got some rain and snow for the West Coast. Some heavy rain down here in Baja, California. Moving along. All right, so this is Tuesday, on Monday at midnight. And our forecast here in western Iowa right now says a slight chance of rain and snow. And according to the GFS model, this is snow. So will we get some heavy wet snow on top of our almost 2 feet in the last week and a half? Possibly. We'll certainly have to. It's going to be close on the rain and snow line. And then freezing rain, Illinois, Indiana. Again, this is midnight, Monday night. Rain and snow for the Pacific Northwest, and some good rains for Yuma. Congratulations. Approaching here, Tucson. All right, let's move that forward. Tucson getting wet as we go into the day Tuesday. Snow continuing in Iowa, now moving into Minnesota and Wisconsin. A little bit of freezing rain hanging in here, Illinois. And that's rain for Indiana, snow for Michigan, and freezing rain for Ohio. Kind of a silver thaw. We'll show you those warmer temperatures here in a little bit. Still snowing in Iowa as we get into Tuesday. So I don't know how much we're expecting, but according to this model, it could be another good dump here in Iowa. I love it. I think a lot of other people who don't love snow are not happy about it, and they're kind of sick of it. As we go into Michigan and Wisconsin, more snow. Rain for southern Michigan now and into Ohio. Some heavy rain, Louisiana. This is Tuesday early afternoon. and some rain moving here into Florida. Snow for western New Mexico. How about that? And more rain for Tucson, Phoenix. So that's nice. I mean, it's a desert, you know. You'll take the rain when you get it. And we're moving into Wednesday. This is Tuesday night at midnight. Snow continuing for parts of New Mexico. Rain for Oklahoma. Heavy rain moving into Mississippi. Some pretty good snows now. Eastern New York into, New England. And then some rain along the mid-Atlantic coast. And is this another storm approaching the Pacific Northwest? We'll keep an eye on that. And again, remember, as we go further out in time, less certainty. So we're not quite a week out here, though. So, keep an eye on all this stuff. Heavy rains, or at least some thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast into Louisiana, up into Mississippi and Alabama. Lighter rain behind that. And then New Mexico still with some mountain snow. Albuquerque getting some snow out of the Santa Fe as well. And the snow is continuing in New England, lifting northward. New Jersey, snow turning to rain. And then the Pacific Northwest, our next system moving in with rain on the coasts, snow on the higher elevations and east of the Cascades. And look at this heavy rain in the south. It's kind of persistent along the Gulf Coast, Louisiana, Mississippi, now moving into Tennessee and Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia. We're looking at Wednesday here, Wednesday afternoon. As we go into Wednesday midnight right here, rain lifting into the Ohio Valley. So probably melting some of that ice and snow. Same for the east. Showers and storms persisting in Louisiana. And a little bit of light snow here in Idaho. And rain for western Washington. And as we move into the 25th, a little batch of rain now moving into Iowa with some patchy freezing rain. Heavy rain persisting in Louisiana. Kind of crazy as that just hangs out here as we get into Thursday, the 25th of January. And the 26th of January, still raining in Louisiana. And now again, Mississippi, Alabama, into Tennessee. A little bit of snow near Dalhart, Texas, perhaps, but it's mostly rain for the Panhandle. Scattered rains for West Texas and along the Red River. Some light snow here in Nebraska. And some good rains for Washington and Oregon, which it is that time of year, right? I always say, growing up in Oregon, it was like, what's the difference between December and January? December is rain in 50s, January is rain in 40s. But they've been dealing with that freezing rain kind of persisting. A patch of light snow here. This is Friday, noontime on the 26th, so a week from today. So we're starting getting more into the land of uncertainty, but these are the trends that we're watching on the models. We see warmer temperatures moving north, a little bit of ice for Pennsylvania, perhaps a silver thaw here, more rain for the mid-Atlantic, more rain for Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, into Kansas. And look at this heavy rain coming down in western Washington. So we'll kind of cut it there. We could go further in time, but again, more uncertainty as we go. So I told you a little bit about a warm-up coming. My temperature right now, 6 below zero, wind chill 20 below zero. Tomorrow morning's low, minus 20 with a wind chill of minus 30. But it's going to warm up. Here are your highs on Monday. So for Iowa, where I live, the average high this time of year is right around freezing. We'll be a degree or two above that. And again, with that chance of rain and snow on Tuesday. So it's going to be really close. We're right on the edge there. And then further north in the northern plains into Minnesota and Wisconsin, you see temperatures still below freezing. And that persists around Lake Michigan and also into northern New England. But the rest of the country, finally, back above freezing. Congratulations. So if you don't like the snow and the cold, or even if you do, but it's been too much and you want a break, hang in there. It's coming. All right, that's my report for this Friday. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. We'll update you either later today or certainly by tomorrow. And we'll talk to you later on the Weather Mic.